They're the same thing.
The Nintendo Switch, a wonderful console with it introducing some groundbreaking features like being able to use one controller as two, setting itself apart from the Wii U, and most importantly, allowing us to bring the console games on the go with us. I mean, this idea alone was so cool. Nothing had been able to do this before like the Switch could, and especially not for the $300 price point that this was selling for. Being able to bring Mario Kart, 3D Zelda, and Minecraft all on the go like it feels on a poorly running PS4. The Nintendo Switch was an incredible gaming console with loads of games on it. Now fast forward 8 years later.
Finally, I can play Minecraft on the go!
The Nintendo Switch 2 released in June 2025 worldwide, and this whole console's identity is to be a follow-up to the Nintendo Switch system. And this has more questions than answers. The console started development right after the Switch 1 launch, and developer units entered development in 2019, so they were hot off the idea board with the last one. I went out of my way to get the Switch 2 in the same month that it was released. Sure, I wasn't there for launch day because this console was so hard to find. So with that in mind, I wanted the console for many reasons, and not feeling left out was among those reasons. I played this for a quick review, left it aside for a month, played Donkey Kong, that left it aside for another month, then played Lego Harry Potter using the system backwards compatibility feature. Right now, the main question on my mind is what exactly made this so special, and is it worth playing all this time later?
Look, if it can't make a Hot Pocket, then I'm out.
The overall design is very similar to the Switch 1 in many ways. We have the same controller concept, this hybrid nonsense, the same cartridge, the same layout. I don't see exactly what they did.
Because you're not looking at it good enough.
One of the things that they did is that they changed on how the Joy-Cons connect, but this time using magnets, which feels so nice to snap on. The handheld screen has a visual boost to full HD, and the dock has a boost to support 4K HDR. And with that extra power, we should be expecting PS5 level games on here, right? I'll get to you in a bit. And they made the console size bigger. Holding the console itself, it feels really nice to hold, but that's where it ends. It's just a larger Nintendo Switch console. The screen looks smoother while playing Super Mario Galaxy, but it's just a nice thing to have. But what's a video game console without any video games? The Nintendo Switch 2 had a handful of launch titles for the system, like for example, Mario Kart World, 2 Legend of Zelda games, Cyberpunk 2077, Sonic X Shadow Generations, and finally the entirety of the Nintendo Switch 1 library playable here. The Nintendo Switch 2 was compatible with nearly all of the original Switch games, offering subtle speed boosts, but primarily being able to play it like the original hardware. But over time, various games got updates to take advantage of the more powerful hardware. Case in point, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, more specifically the Switch version. I don't even want to think about the 3DS version on a big screen. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is a puzzle adventure game, and it's just small bite-sized levels. This game originally released on the Wii U, and it got a visual boost on Nintendo Switch, and we're already seeing this game get another boost. It doesn't really add a whole lot other than a nice boost to 4K. This looks really nice, but most of the enhanced Switch 1 games follow the same theme. Grab the old game, do a little or nothing to change it, and let's charge more for half of them.
They get you one way or another.
Now let's take a look at an actual Switch 2 game, Mario Kart World. This is a weird concept on its own for being a launch title and as a primary selling point on here. This was heavily advertised as the game you need to play on this system, and it beats all previous Mario Kart games and makes this the only one you should play. Mario Kart World is not bad, but it's not great either. Mario Kart World kind of feels like a continuation of Mario Kart 8, and not really a groundbreaking new experience. It's your standard Mario Kart with a new concept thrown our way, and the prize I gambled for this time was that there's an open world being added to the game, which sounds like an awesome concept. Being able to travel from anywhere to have courses that potentially connect and sounds like an awesome idea. I don't know if the idea itself or the way that they implemented it, but the open world idea just was not the right move. They make us use the connecting path from one course to another no matter what game mode you choose, which is fine, but there's nothing to do during these parts. It's just turn to the left, then turn back to the right a bit and drive straight. The new characters are nothing to get all excited about either. You have the normal characters, but for some reason I was really hoping that they included Fishbone in this game. And remember that you still have Mario Kart 8 as a playable option on here, so what's even the point? Like I said, it's not bad, but it gets the job done. It's just that it's somewhat fun and they met the quota. Good job, Nintendo, you earned your cookie for the day. And there are some good things about Mario Kart World, like the characters are so expressive, and I got nothing else. And for a game that's supposed to be simple to get into, some people would have a hard time because you can do tricks at any point, from not just from ramps anymore, so that makes things a little bit more complicated even for me when trying to drift, but I accidentally trick while driving. And I'm gonna have to stop there. Mario Party Jamboree is another Switch 2 game, and sure, it originally released as a Switch 1 game before the Switch 2 came out, but this was a sequel to Super Mario Party, which that game was a return to the classic Mario Party formula of 4 players taking turns and playing a minigame after each round, hunting for stars and fixing mistakes from before. Now, what exactly did they do to justify a Switch 2 enhanced version? You guessed it, an Xbox 360 Connect side mode. I knew history would repeat itself. This is just not worth it. First, you need a $55 camera accessory for this, and on top of that, you need to pay $10 more with the add-on to play this game. And with that being a disappointment and a half, how does Donkey Kong Bonanza make me feel?
I really don't want you to say that ever again like that.
This is the first 3D Donkey Kong game in several years, and this was not that bad. The game has expansive worlds to explore in so many different environments. There are so many moves to pull off for platforming and different enemies to defeat, and plus, the game is smooth as butter on here, but it has one major flaw. It reminds me a lot of Super Mario Odyssey. The game has a lot to offer, but it feels eerily similar to an already existing game. I still had fun, and I could definitely see it standing on its own leg, but what does Kirby Air Riders offer that is exclusive to here? The reboot we desperately needed to blow the competition out of the water, and this does not disappoint. Forget Mario Kart World, this is the game that we needed at launch, and this brings a vastly different concept to the table, like constantly moving forward and drifting is the way to slow down and get an extra boost. Using Kirby's ability in this game too to get first. I don't know why I never played this before now, but I love this concept. It is so cool.
The Nintendo Switch 2 is not a bad console by any means. It's just everything about it feels like a repeated offense. They may not see it, but I can definitely see a pattern on what they're doing here. The Wii U and Switch 2 have a lot more in common than what you might think, and the games are just a tip of the iceberg. And there's a lot more aspects to cover, like the GameCube on Switch Online needing a subscription, the Super Mario Galaxy fiasco, the Welcome Tour needing to be charged for that. Only time will tell if this was be a successful console, or just a failed attempt at milking the Nintendo Switch cow dry. Oh wait a minute, that didn't sound right.